Ali Sadpara. Mountains demand passion. Your heart needs to be in love with the mountains. Ali Sadpara was born on the 2nd of February in 1976 in Sadpara, Pakistan. He was a great student who had a craze to explore. Sadpara loved playing football and was a member of his college football team. He had a sturdy body of an athlete and would run around his village to stay fit. He would stare at the beautiful mountains of Skardu in Gilgit-Baltistan and wish to climb them someday. Pakistan has 5 8,000-meter peaks, including K2, Nagna Parbat, Broad Peak, and Gasherbrum 1 and 2, and Sadpara wanted to conquer them all. Despite his family's financial issues and advice to join the police force or army, which would help him earn a decent money and free housing, Sadpara preferred climbing. He told his family, "Climbing is what I want to do." He never stopped dreaming and tried to climb the mountain in his flip-flops with essential climbing tools. After completing his education, he got married at the age of 19 and had 3 children. In 2003, he began his career as a high-altitude porter and served as an assistant in mountain climbing expeditions. He was lucky to convert his passion into a career. His immense love for the mountains and their monstrous heights gave him instant success as a tour operator. In 2016, Sadpara became famous around the globe when he, along with Spain's Alex Tixgon and Italy's Simone Moro, made a new world record with the first winter summit of Nagna Parbat. Sadpara showed enormous strength and supported his co-mates to keep moving forward despite the deadly weather. Sadpara believed climbing gives you 2 outcomes, life or death. If the outcome is life, you get more courage and desire to climb much higher than before. From 2006 to 2019, Sadpara climbed the mountains of Pakistan, China, and Nepal. His portfolio was weighed with the highest peaks that he climbed. Every night in the mountains, he would sing and dance with the rest of his crew members and spread happiness. On the 4th of February 2021, Ali Sadpara, his son Sajid Sadpara, John Snorri Sigurjonsson, Juan Pablo Mor Prieto, and 20 other members started their journey to K2. After several days of treacherous terrain at the far northern end of Pakistan, close to the Chinese border, the group started climbing the mountain. There were 4 camps on the way, and everyone was supposed to stop at every camp to acclimatize to the different altitudes. After crossing 2 camps, the group reached the Black Pyramid. The blizzard became punitive, but the group continued moving up. Some of the climbers were withering away and began to give up. They decided to take shelter for a few hours to save themselves from the unforgiving mountain of K2. The hours in the shelter were the hardest, as the deadly wind and low temperature were about to hit. Several members, including the cameraman filming the video, felt like the weather may threaten their life and decided to go back down. Ali Sadpara, John Snorri, Juan Pablo, and Sajid Sadpara were left behind. The weather was so unpredictable and dangerous at that time that all 4 guys decided to wait until the wind stopped. On the 5th of February, Ali Sadpara and the other members left Camp 4 at 2:30 a.m. While moving forward, Ali Sadpara came across a Slovenian climber, Thomas Rotter, who told them there was a traverse he couldn't cross, so he decided to go back down. The group had a discussion, and members decided to keep moving towards the traverse, but when they reached, there were no fixed ropes. The traverse was incredibly risky. Still, they wanted to go through it because the second route was longer and it would take hours to take the second route. Sadpara threw his gear across the traverse. He then jumped and fixed the rope so the rest of the climbers could follow him. On the way, Sadpara's son Sajid had regular oxygen malfunction and began to have severe headaches and nausea. He tried to fix his oxygen cylinder but failed to do so. Sadpara told him to leave before his condition worsened and wait for them at Camp 3. Sajid separated from the rest of the members at the K2 bottleneck, which was very close to the K2 summit. Last time Sajid looked back at his dad, who crossed the bottleneck with the other crew members and was moving towards the top. Sajid began to feel sick and hurried back, but it took him 8 hours to reach Camp 3. He stayed at Camp 3 for the next 6 hours and waited for his dad to send him a signal that they had reached the summit. Sadpara reached the traverse, which was 8,300 meters. It was getting darker, but Sadpara was determined to reach the summit, no matter how harsh the weather was. Without any visibility, Sadpara continued the journey with the other 2 members. They couldn't see if snow or rock was falling, but their quest continued until there was silence in the mountains. It was late night, but Sajid didn't get any message or signal from his father. Neither did any of the 3 members return. After waiting several hours, Sadpara was declared missing on the same night. A rescue mission began on the 6th of February, with 2 Pakistan Army helicopters searching for the team. It made everything very poignant and clear that even the rescue team had difficulty reaching Camp 2 and 3 due to the deadly blizzards. The search continued for the next 12 days, but there was no sign. Sadpara's family and the Pakistani Authority declared him and the other 2 members dead on the 18th of February. The search was officially called off, but his son Sajid decided to climb the K2 and reach the bottleneck where he last saw his father. Sajid Sadpara climbed the mountain all alone for days. On the way to the bottleneck, Sajid met an Argentinian climber and asked him to help find and bring his body down. The Argentinian climber was a rescue expert and agreed to help him. The body of Sadpara and the other 2 members were found at Camp 4. The 2 guys retrieved the body, covered it in a bag, tied it with a rope, and brought it down. Sadpara and the other members made it to the summit. They couldn't wait because of the deadly weather and decided to return to Camp 4 at 7 p.m. The weather was minus 60 degrees, and fighting against the wind was getting difficult as it felt like blood was freezing in the body. He couldn't see the way down, but tried trailing the fixed line. Due to the lack of oxygen, fatigue, and intense blizzard, he tried to rest for a few minutes and think of a strategy. He waved to the other cold mountaineers to tell them to wait. These few minutes became lethal for Sadpara. Sadpara could feel stiffness in his legs, arms, and neck. He couldn't ask for help as the other members were far away and also in bad condition. Sadpara couldn't make it that night as his body was frostbitten. All 3 bodies were found by a Madison mountaineering Sherpa team that was fixing ropes above the camp. K2 has been fatal for mountaineers, and many have lost their lives climbing. That's a wrap for today. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up, share, and subscribe to the channel to see our latest content.